Hi, everybody. Hope you are all enjoying a wonderful summer, a sizzling sales-filled summer. This is Julie Podewitz back with another episode in the Resolving the Occupancy Puzzle series of the Grow Your Occupancy Podcast. I hope you're all enjoying the series. We're getting a lot of great feedback. I always welcome your input, your stories, what's working, what challenges you're having. Please keep the messages flowing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate you listening. Check out the next episode. Hello, everybody. This is Julie back for another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy Podcast, Resolving the Occupancy Puzzle. All right, where'd we leave off? This is chapter 6, not enough sales activity, sales quantity. So sales quantity, not enough, just not enough. Hope you're all enjoying your summer slump. Summer can sizzle, summer can slump. Summer, gosh, when we were kids in school, we used to get the summers off. My dad was a school teacher. So when I was growing up, there was very definitive. We left town. We had a place up north. Grew up in Michigan, and we left and we went up north to the Upper Peninsula. So it was very definitive life. And then as you grow up, graduate and grow into adulthood, and you want to stay in the wonderful profession of teaching. But for those of us that segue through, work all the way through summers, those teachers work very hard. I did teach school, so that is, I think everybody, honestly, I think the world would be a better place if everyone taught school for at least a year and everyone was a server for at least a year. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Were you a server? Or what about a teacher? Was both extremely, extremely, and a caregiver. Oh my gosh. All right, back to sales. So what I'm hearing both the summer's either sizzling or it can slump, right? As we're uh, there's a lot of people that take time off, in the summer, and certainly prospects and families take time. But it's also time that, prospects, influencers, adult children are visiting. They're visiting their parents, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, and they're seeing things that maybe they haven't for a few months, maybe since the holidays. They have time. They have time off from work. This is a great time to revisit, to visit for the first time, to help, to make the move. Sharing a success story, was doing a coaching session over the weekend with a sales director celebrating her first year in senior living sales. And this is her second community. She's been at this community for about 6 months, 7 months. Record sales at the community. I think the community is, I think 15, maybe 18 years old. And this is a record sales month ever at the community. And, what is she doing? What is she doing? They're calling her, it's a big provider based outside of Chicago. And this is an individual who, like I said, new to senior living, reached out to get coaching. And, she said, I'm working, and I'll tell you what she's doing. She has implemented a system, a workflow she's working her system, working the workflow, working the process, deep discovery, personalizing her tours, following a call cadence, polite persistence and follow-up, listening, connecting. She has a determination, really a real deep determination for success. She's really, really unrelenting in wanting more, wanting to meet her goals. So she's very goal oriented and a little bit hard on herself to reach those goals, but just very metrics focused. So my point is the fundamentals. So she's worked a lot on her skills. She's practiced. She's focused, she's so I guess the answer is nothing out of the ordinary. And she is not ordinary, right? But she is not doing anything that any of us can't do. So she's staying focused on how many tours does she need? What are her conversion metrics, leading measures, and a lot of follow-up. She had 8 move-ins in the month of June, and I think 6 of those move-ins were people in her pipeline already. So, you've got to nurture your prospects. You've got to do follow-up. So we're talking about sales quantity today. Sales quantity, look, quantity is volume. It is what it is. I don't really like that expression. It sounds so, well, it is what it is. But that's a first metric. Okay. What the first thing to look at, what is being done? What is being done? So this on my list is solution number 4, sales activity. What are the expectations? Okay. First, prioritizing your time. You're not going to have enough time to get everything done. Just not. So not only prioritize, not only the sales activity, but what activity? Number 1, tours. That is the number 1 activity that's going to yield the result. You don't manifest tours out of the air, but the number 1 activity is tours and retours. So opportunity, how many opportunities in any given month to yield that deposit, the sale to move in. So prioritizing the time, the cadence to connect, that new lead to connection, the speed to lead, the first person or the second person, responding quickly to our new leads. First time, chances are you're not going to reach that person or get them on the phone or get them to maybe text you back right away. That cadence, that rhythm, you're not bothering people. They raise their hand. Polite persistence. And you've heard the term inspect what you expect. Well, you have to know what you expect, and you need to know what you expect of yourself. What do you expect of yourself? We talk a lot about setting goals, or what's the strategy? And if you've listened to podcasts, previous podcasts, or you've ever coached with me, you absolutely have to have a strategy. But resetting strategy is futile. Set a strategy and work a strategy. You don't need a new strategy. You've got to work a plan. Got to set a plan and work a plan. Does it need to be tweaked? Yeah, I'm sure. But what part of it needs to be tweaked? It's like a science experiment. But if you're moving around too much, you're moving this metric, you're moving over here, you're moving over there, and I don't do well in science, but I know there's a control, right? And because if you're moving too many factors, you don't know what yielded the outcome, right? So what cause and effect, what caused the outcome? I don't know, right? So you want to make sure that as much as you can, that you're working a process and a workflow and a system where you're like, yes, okay, some things are really simple. When I pick up the phone, the more times I pick up the phone, the greater chance I'm going to have to connect with somebody, or the more times I text, the greater chance. It's just, that's the odds are the more time you text, the greater chance you are going to connect, right? Or the more times you practice, you're going to grow your skill. Okay. The more times you go, the more times that you're out, doing outreach, you've got community presence, a greater chance you are to be seen. It's common sense. So activity goes up. Okay, results go up. Now I'm not a volume velocity. It's like just pound on the phone without any skill building. There's quality, of course, But all the quality in the world isn't going to help if you only do 2 tours a month, for example. I was reviewing data, June data for a client, and yay, 67% tour to sale, move-in conversion. Oh my gosh, fantastic. They had 6 tours. And so I backed up, and their lead to connection really low, like 50%, and the connection to tour 18%. Now, it's not all about new leads, right? It's also about your database, but just even on the new lead. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, in that case, you definitely need more tours. That was total tours, by the way, not just new, and it was 7 total or 6 total for the month. So it's a volume issue. That's volume, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about quantity. And on page 87, I talk about, why. I mean, it's a discipline and a discipline thing. It's just, did you do it or not? And that's just a mirror that we each hold up to ourselves. And we can come up with the old adage, if you want to find an excuse, you can. We either do something or we don't. It, there's a lot of talk about, time management. I prefer to look at it as prioritization, because if you don't, time management, it makes feel like, well, I'm going to manage this amount of time to squeeze absolutely everything, this long list of this to do, and all of these important and urgent and urgent, not important, and all these rocks and all these goals and all this, 55 calls and all these tasks together in one day without a break. And then there's a lot past due, and now I feel like a failure. You're much, much, much more productive when you take time to plan, to say, okay, this month we need to have X number. I need to have this many tours, this many move-ins. Let's look at it big picture. This is the strategy. Okay, here's the goal: 20 tours, 24 tours, 18 tours. Like I said, you can't manifest tours out of air. You just start doing the work. It's doing the work. Sometimes it can be a grind. It's like daily exercise. Some people love to exercise. Some people hate it. I think most people sort of fall somewhere in the middle. It's like, where find something that you enjoy doing, or at least you don't hate doing, so that you're committing to general health. I mean, that's the word, the word that's, I guess I'm not a doctor or anything, but I mean, that's the word that's out there, right? Is just move your body, be good to yourself, right? Drink water, move around, find something you don't hate. The same kind of discipline with, okay, maybe you don't feel like it today. You've got to pick up the phone. You've got to text. We've got to make plans. Got to reach out. You've got to do it. You've got to do the outreach. It has to be consistent over time. It's a long game. Yes, you're going to have the short wins. You're going to have the lead that prospect calls today. They're going to move in this week. Yay, we love that. But if you're playing for the short game wins, you're not going to win the season. Not going to, if you're looking for, the Hail Mary pass and the 90-yard, fun touchdown every time. You're not gonna win the games. You're just not. It's one on the downs. It's the grind. It's the 10 yards at a time, 2 yards at a time. Go, go, go with that winning mindset. Winning mindset. There's another something else that a person I'm coaching does, and this is a thing too. It's about committing and doing it. You can say, "Oh, that's a great idea," but it's not that. It's yeah, you got to have an idea, but it's taking action on an idea. It's oh, that sounds good, but it's a person decides to do, each one of us decides to do. And, our outcomes are a result of our habits and our actions day in and day out. And is that commitment to make one more call. When you feel like giving up, or when at the end of the day, make one more call. And I got a text message yesterday from a woman who messaged me, and she said, by the way, I got a sale from my one more. This was yesterday, it was Tuesday. And she made that one more call yesterday, and she closed the sale on that one more call. Now, does that happen each time? No, she's got to do that every single day. I bet you she's done that for 30 days in a row, maybe 40 days in a row, with, in her mind, no success. And then yesterday, boom. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. It's a lot of discipline, a lot of commitment, and without a lot of fanfare. That being said, make sure you're celebrating. Make sure you let people know. Make sure you let people know, I'm making one extra call. That's my goal. I'm making one extra call. And I I did it. I did it this week. I made one extra call, and I did it 5 days in a row. Great job. Good for you. And know we're supposed to do things, or we're told we're doing for intrinsic reasons and not just for the pats on the back. But let's be honest, don't you deserve a pat on the back. It's okay. It's okay to need or want a pat on the back. If you don't need one, that's great. That's fine. But if you want one, or you need some recognition, go for it. Sales can be a lonely job. It can be a grind. We say, close the door, pick up the phone. Yeah, I know you're talking to people, so you're not necessarily alone, but you are shut off. You're shut off from the rest of the community if you're a community salesperson. And you're also kind of shut off if you're leaving voicemail all day. You feel rejected, even though it's not personal, right? So again, it's easy to say, it's simple to do, it's just not always easy. And I'm here to recognize that. But solution 4, sales expectations. Inspect what you expect. You've got to know what you expect. What do you expect of yourself? Just don't say, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to pick up the phone X number of times. In the Selling Senior Living Workbook, I suggest something as simple as, I think Jessie in a previous podcast, so she did this again. So it wasn't just, hey, that's a cute idea. She actually did it. Is, put little X's on a sticky note. I'm going to pick up the phone, or cross them out. I'm going to pick up the phone 10 times every single day this week. Or I'm going to, what I suggest is tours. However many number of tours, put it on the whiteboard and then scratch it out. If you need 20, scratch it out. Now you need 19, scratch it out. Now you need 18, or put notches. Okay, we need 20 and notch it. Look, that we only need 5 more. Let everybody know in your morning meeting. Look, we need 20 tours this month. We're at 15. We need 5 more. Let everybody know. We talk about a culture of operations culture, a revenue focused culture, a customer focused culture, sales focused culture. It's a forward movement culture. You cannot have a business without revenue. You can't have a business without customers. That is the first point of business. It's opening your door and having customers come in. You've got to have a fully functioning business, of course, but you have a fully functioning business and no customers coming in, your business isn't going to be fully functioning for very long. The chapter ends with, it doesn't end, but it includes the referral outreach. It does mention referral outreach expectations. I do go into more depth with referral in another chapter, but looking at the report in the CRM, it's really simple: sales activity. And look at trends, sales activity. Most important are tours, retours, visits and revisits, and calls, attempts and connects. On the outreach side, of course, it's appointments or meetings, appointments, calls. And then a bit on time optimization. And certainly it wraps up certainly with accountability. Accountability isn't a bad word. It's not a bad word. Accountability is someone is caring about yourself, and it's someone caring about you. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of this Solving the Occupancy or Resolving the Occupancy Puzzle, Grow Your Occupancy Podcast. I'm Julie Podewitz. Until next time, thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, and keep sending in your comments. Thank you.